Hi, Kalpunpisu here. My brain is creating thoughts. The brain, by the way, and a lot of these people are very ignorant, the theists, the people that believe in intelligent designer, they cannot prove an intelligent designer exists. The intelligent designer is created by the brain, along with many deluded thinking, which is believing God is a product of the brain. We are born atheists, lacking belief. For the umpteenth time, people that believe in God and all this are deluded, retarded, and very extremely ignorant. Deal with it. Study science and then you'll realize there is no God. It's a product of infected, deluded, ignorant, lazy brains. They don't want to open any other book or read anything else. Here are the facts.
Which of course takes time to acquire, because each biological system is sort of an accident of evolution, and to understand it, you have to understand its unique circumstances and how this animal is different from this animal, and you have to just know molecular biology and biochemistry and neuroscience and psychology and theory of evolution. So it requires a much larger number of facts to explain.
The deluded, ignorant morons that don't realize that we have a brain that creates thoughts, and when it's infected with the delusions of God, is retarded. Read this book. Read science. This is from the author, from this guy.
Lynch is developing a drug that would keep our brains from deteriorating and even make them work better.
This new class of drugs, which are called ampakines, gives the brain a new kind of power.
Our brains are made of neurons, more than 100 billion of them.
Wow, retarded theist. Billions of neurons in the brain, the universe within, making you think. Hey, that's a fact. If it true hurts, too bad. For the deluded, very ignorant theist, you want to prove that God, an intelligent designer, exists? Okay. Take some drugs, take some chemicals, alter your perception of reality and see if you still believe that. You probably see angels. Angels.
Thought is nothing more than a community of neurons talking to each other for a fraction of a second.
Yes.
Each neuron passes its message on.
You create God that way. Christians should learn this stuff.
Not bad. Not great.
What would happen if you could accelerate that process?
With ampakines, the jolt of electricity is larger.
Electricity is it.
Respond to the message, and more neurons means that they'll recruit more neurons.
There you go. More information, more connection.
Now you have more neurons working on a single thought. And
our neurons send signals across tiny gaps called synapses. Dr. Lynch can measure just how much ampakines grease these synapses inside the brain.
What we have in this dish is a piece of a living brain. And up here on this screen, you can actually see the synaptic voltages.
Yes, there you go. Creating gods and the rest of delusions.
Preparing to pass them on.
Smart drugs will become part of our lives as we fight off brain degeneration.
Yes. Especially the delusion of believing in God.
Are not a speculation.
Psychosis.
These are real things that are now in testing by pharmaceutical companies. Potential is there to do things the brain cannot do, things the brain cannot.
Ingest some peyote, and you'll see angels, and you'll see the intelligence,
Stories
and you'll see the intelligence.
Millions of ordinary, credible people.
Above us was a craft with a beam coming down. I could literally feel this warm beam shining down on us.
I saw this tunnel, like a dark tunnel with a light at the end of it. There was also a guardian angel that was there. To me, it seemed that it was like angel wings or something were right there, and the presence
I was in a car. A friend of mine was driving. She hit a fire hydrant, and I went through the windshield of the car, but I experienced it from the back seat. I watched myself leave the front seat and go through the windshield.
Yeah, look at what chemicals do to the brain.
The woman breaks away from the officer into the traffic and is hit by a lorry. Then her sister also runs
What drugs do to the brain. Just like believing God. Psychosis. Psychosis.
Hey, feeble-minded idiots that believe in intelligent designer. We have a thyroid gland and we create God with the brain.
In his
Not christ-psychosis infection.
and memory.
your thyroid secretes a hormone that balances out your life metabolism.
Part of evolution.
You become very slow moving. It's very, you get tired. It's very easy to lose.
Prayers wouldn't work.
Clearly, everything becomes a
He prays to zombie cheese so he would not get active.
like I was in another world. It's very surreal in a way, very lightheaded.
Rain was doing that.
And it was very difficult to maintain any kind of focus.
Take some drugs and see if the imaginary friend or your intelligent designer and God and other deluded things stop you from changing your thought.
Was that once a memory was formed, it was fixed. Makes it changeable. This amazing discovery makes altering our memories.
Yeah, false memories. And chemicals can actually do it.
And the lunatics, the deluded folks, the intelligent designers that say irreducible complexity. The morons, they should just read a science book and get educated and go see a neurologist to fix their brains.
New memories were initially fluid and malleable, and then recently we've come to realize that even old memories can have.
Is convinced that there is a drug that may assist this change by inhibiting the proteins which enable a recalled memory to be resaved.
We're not exactly sure why it's only emotional memory that's being affected, but we know for sure that this is the case, and that remains to be better understood.
Muslim scholars of the past had the confidence to acknowledge foreign words in the Qur'an. In the 10th century, Al-Tabari, one of the most respected commentators, identified Hebrew, Latin, Greek, Persian, Abyssinian, and Syriac words.
There you go, lots of words.
Is that Luxembourg is claiming new meanings, and at a time when critical examination of the text is actively, how can one professor of linguistics challenge the collective judgment of more than 1 billion people? And on what basis?
Because he knows more than the billion ignorant people.
They read only one book like this, and they're trying to translate things, and they're totally deluded and very ignorant of the outside world because they look at everything with tunnel visions. That's everything with tunnel visions.
Each archangel holds a grape in one hand, and in the other cradles the departed souls who are refreshed with bunches of grapes.
Blood as a sacrifice, and then of course rifles, Yeah.
These texts were still invented.
They're under drug. People wrote those damn things under influence of drugs, and every story changes through time. What part of the Bible is a book of drugs don't you understand?
Why are the angels
in this one town? 8 men, including Reuben, will make their sacrifice.
What a retards.
Knowingly or unknowingly, I've done a lot of mistakes.
All psychosis. Religious beliefs are a mental illness. It's the psychosis, the form of schizotypal piety.
Weighed down by an offering.
Devotions. Offerings.
The 108 hooks.
Come on, Christians, show your faith. Do this. Instead of going to church, you do this every Sunday. Going to church, you do this every Sunday.
I'm giving you one very small example of the psychosis of religious beliefs. Also, they believe in intelligent designer.
It's time for Abysmal to be initiated as the supreme priest. Of the supreme priest, the devil can drink its blood.
Yeah.
Then he will be satisfied.
There you go, Christians. The blood of Christ and this wine and the bread, body of Christ is bread, body of Christ is bread. Brains get sick. And when brains get sick, these are the results. Religious psychosis. That is the Kaaba. The black stone where there is a meteorite.
And her lover mounts her like a bull. It is called the Congress of a cow. In the same way can be carried the congress of a deer.
Yeah, and cows are sacred, people.
Of these different animals.
Yes. They're worshipping the penis and the vulva.
Unique in all the world, almost every surface of these temples is embroidered with figures that graphically detail the sexual
sacred orgasm.
As well.
That's the gift of.
That's the gift of. Temples, they worship penis, Christ, and the vulva, and have a sacred orgasm, and they have the right attitude. Pacha de Oro. Keep it healthy.